Ding. We're live. It's the marketing show. We have Sam, we have Michael, we have Matt, we have Plenty. Let's do that thing that we often do at the beginning of the marketing meeting, where we just get down notes about what it is that any of us individually would like to achieve in this meeting. Let's start with Blandine. Is there anything that you'd like to make sure talked about?
I would like to speak about term of use.
About, say again?
Term of use.
Terms of use.
Yes.
Sure. Terms of use. Okay. Matt?
Maybe just go over the newsletter assignments again.
Okay. Michael?
So how much support are we going to get from marketing and the design sprint is my question, because like Matt and I are in this meeting, but I think we're kind of almost tangentially related to the marketing team. And Sam, you're just, I mean, you're not really on the marketing team. You're kind of just like a facilitator. So, like, how much?
Does a lot of the work.
Yeah. So that's a great question, which we'll come to. And then I guess for me, I've done the NHS Wiki marketing report, marketing moderation report, which we might look at. And I guess, do I have other marketing business? I mean, I guess there's all, it's I guess the design sprint, which we've got there. What I should do, or we should do, is just quickly look back. I guess other things. Well, there's Hootsuite that was dealt with. I just get the previous action items from the last meeting. So if that's all our business, then maybe we can start with looking through the action items as the previous action items. Yeah, so I did this Hootsuite verification, which allowed Lara to access it. I then also went on and applied on her request for the non-profit discount, and I thought we were getting like free access to their team plan, but apparently it's like 50% discount, so that's £40 a month, which I don't know is actually something we want to be paying, but I guess I will discuss that with Lara. Yeah, I have questions in my mind about what value we're deriving from Hootsuite. I've got a variety of logos to get into the Edge site, which I haven't done. I think Federico and I have failed to work out a time for the podcast publication to go on that, or any of that. Lara's not here. We have got this done. Lara's, we've got Marufa added onto Medium. Right, and we've got a terms of use thing in the thing there. I got Marufa I think that was the details of the NHS Wiki. Matt, were you able to help Marufa set up an Agile Ventures email?
No, I guess I'm waiting for Marufa to ping me. I'm usually around this time every day.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Or whenever.
Sure. And there we go. Yeah, Federico's not here. Yeah, I've got a newsletter article. So yeah, those things all there. Lara's here. Hey, Lara, how are you doing?
All right, and you, Sam?
Yeah, not bad. All better for seeing you. Yes, great to have you here. We were just going through the previous action items. We had the only one we had you down for was the Met Plus article from the newsletter.
Yeah, that's correct. I'll do that this weekend.
All right. So that carries over. Do you have anything that you want to add to the agenda for the meeting?
No, not at the moment. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Okay, well let's take these things in turn. Yeah. Okay. So Blandine, yeah, you wanted to talk about the terms of use.
Yes, I read the term of use of Agile Venture. If you want to generate a user ID, we need to add a mention for an user. And I noticed that many sites just mention that they use Google Analytics.
Right.
But maybe it can be negative for the website.
Yeah. I don't know that we have a terms of use for this website, or do we?
I don't think we do.
Not
for the main.
No,
AD.
I think we. So, when you say you read the terms of use for the Agile Ventures site, Blandine, do you mean for
Yes.
this one, for this site?
Yes.
Right. Yes. So there's often a thing about mentioning what cookies that you use and so on. I think does our privacy policy mention that? Yeah. So I guess
that we use cookies. So.
I think it says that we don't use it there, so that maybe needs to be updated. I guess the site doesn't use cookies. But we've got Google now. We've added Google Analytics. That maybe needs to change. Yeah.
Well, what do you actually need to disclose? Like I know the EU law says you need to disclose cookies, right?
Yeah, and you need to. I mean, what a lot of people are doing is saying, you know, we use Google Analytics cookie, we have these cookies, we have that cookies. I mean, I've just had, you know, a privacy policy in terms of use drawn up by lawyers for the NHS Wiki site, so we can use those as maybe as template. I noticed also in this page the font sizes are a bit strange, like that's large and small and whatever.
But it's kind of weird that the EU law, like everyone's saying, you have to disclose cookies.
Yeah, it's a totally
like
weird law.
A very specific technology.
Yeah.
That may not even exist in 3 years.
I totally agree. It seems it's a crazy bit of red tape in some ways, but you know, we somehow we're not. Well, it's election today actually in the UK. So.
Well, you guys are going into Brexit, right? So.
Who knows what we're doing? I mean, I give up following it all. Anyway, but so coming back over here, so Blandine, yeah, so the terms of use, you're suggesting adding information about cookies.
Yes, but there are also complementary software to Google Analytics, which make it easier to filter the internal traffic.
Okay, so this is on a different item. You've got some software for filtering internal.
For example, there is Piwik. It is an open source analytics platform. I don't know if you are interested about that.
You're saying if we switch to a different system,
yes,
then it would be easier to filter internal traffic. Is that you're saying if we use this other system?
Yes, but because it's more easier.
Yeah. Yes. That well, and I guess yeah. Well, so I think what we need to do here is turn this into to action. I guess what I can see there from is what we should be doing is we should be reviewing TNC on static sites. Same with the privacy, and then like actually creating those for the main site. Now, so I guess the question is, do we have anybody who's interested in taking the lead on these things, or do they just become action items to be done, and who knows when they get done? So I guess that ends up being, since I've just done this thing for the HLP wiki, I guess.
So what does it mean to review? Like,
well, I think it's reviewing, like, are we, you know, up to now that we're an official charity, it's the kind of thing that we need to be, you know, compliant with EU law on these things, since we're an EU-based charity. Well, then yeah, we're potentially leaving the EU, and then yeah. So gosh. Anyway, I mean, I think we don't, and the fact that we don't have them on the main site is a bit of an oversight.
right.
So, okay, so that's this. The I think that would be interesting to experiment with a different analytics thing. I think I would be worried a little bit here about the trade-off of, like, we're all kind of familiar with Google Analytics and we kind of know how to use it, and it's kind of integrated into our site, and then we're, it's partly connected to Google AdWords. I'm not sure. For the effort of changing over to a different system in order to make it easier to filter internal traffic, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Is it, you think we're giving up on trying to filter internal traffic in Google Analytics?
Can't you use both systems?
That's another possibility. Yeah. We could certainly. I mean, I guess the key here is, I mean, if we come on to, we'll come on to the marketing report, is where I think it's important that we potentially filter internal traffic is in the, for the wiki itself, the NHS one. But I thought that you had got to a point, Blandine, where there was, you'd worked out some new sorts of ID, that you had worked out an alternative to using the IP address as a way to filter, or not, for Google Analytics.
Can you not use Google Tag Manager? Might be a better option.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that they all integrate. Benedine, I think maybe that's something good to look at, because it's another tool which also does a lot of usage stats and tracking, and so maybe you should look at that and see. I'm not 100% sure how it works, because I haven't really had time to play with it, but it might be a better option because it can work alongside Google Analytics. That much I know.
So thank you for those suggestions there, Lara. I was just going to take us back to the question that I was asking Blandine, which was that I thought, Blandine, that you had found some way to use so like a GA ID to filter internal traffic. And I thought we were going to be experimenting with using the Google Analytics IDs to filter internal traffic. But did you try this and discover that it doesn't work very well?
For the moment, I don't try this. No.
Okay, so you sort of were looking at this, but then you haven't tried it out.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
it might be kind of technical, Sam.
Indeed. I mean, I think that the challenge that we have to a certain extent is that probably, like, I mean, Piwik might be easier. There's a tag manager. For Blandine, I think ideally for Blandine, maybe someone would be able to pair with her to look at these different things. And there's
to get a better understanding.
Yeah. I mean, Blandine can do a certain amount of research by herself, but she's an intern and needs support in these things. I think Lara's suggestion of combine, we could certainly add the Piwik to the MediaWiki site in principle, and maybe the thing. I mean, I think, Blandine, if you're up for it, maybe you can follow Lara's suggestion to research the Google Tag Manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
go on, Michael.
Can I just take us back to like the fundamentals? What are we trying to actually do with this?
I think I know a little bit of.
Like, what is the end goal of Blandine's research?
Well, to filter internal traffic so that when we present our report to the NHS people, we can say there was this level of activity in the site, and we can exclude those people who are in Agile Ventures who are like just using it in order to do admin work.
Okay.
And I mean, specifically that. I mean, conceivably, we might want to do the same thing for the main site and the non-profit static sites. Although the value of that is somewhat questionable, and then it's difficult with Agile Ventures to distinguish between people who are like explicitly admins and those who are like contributors. Like, it's sort of like everybody's a kind of contributors / admin to some greater or lesser degree. And yeah, whereas for the NHS Wiki site, there's a fairly clear division between, there's these relatively non-technical health professionals using it, and then there's a few Agile Ventures people who might use it. But again, the numbers are, small. It's probably it's for Blandine's interest in being able to do this and the learning benefit for her for exploring these different things. That's the big win, I would say.
Okay, so so the end goal of what you're saying, besides learning, is to provide these reports, right? That you're contractually obligated to provide. And like, it's not clear to me. So like, you want to know how many people registered on the site that are not.
Yeah, I tell you what, why don't I show you the report that I just generated, and then we can talk about it in that context. So according to the contract, this is the kind of list of things that we've agreed to provide to them about the operation of the wiki. So maybe let me give you this overview of the report. So I've been through this. So we rejected 71 submissions, which were basically, the majority of which was spam. It was tests and spam. And I say that, that took, a relatively trivial amount of time. The danger, I think the NHS people had been anticipating that there would be people, submitting stuff that was kind of, I don't know, they're hoping for lots of new healthcare stakeholders to submit things. Whereas actually, all the people who've submitted stuff, and I've got they want to see the users who submitted stuff and so on. All the people who submitted stuff are people that I met and trained. And some of them went on to submit more things after in the training sessions, but there hasn't been anybody kind of outside that set of stakeholders that I trained or engaged with who've made any submissions. And for all of them, part of getting them set up, I immediately set them to be, auto approved for their submissions. So there haven't been any kind of there hasn't been any moderation of real healthcare professionals. There's just been effectively spam filtering. And so my concern there is that the volume of spam, which is not huge, but just could lead to missing that first, or timid healthcare professional who is trying to put stuff in. So I think there's, I was saying in the NHS Wiki meeting the other day, there's room to explore some other plugins that would make the spam, easier to manage, and reduce the chance of. Go on, somebody.
That was me.
Yeah, go on.
Laura. So the spam that you're picking up is that in the analytics?
No, that's in the MediaWiki itself.
Okay. All
yeah.
Right.
And so that I think it's largely automated bots that are just targeting MediaWiki instances in general. And I'll come on the analytics. I think we can see that activity in the but I don't know that we can. That's then a question. It would be to answer Michael's question. So we go on. I've got analytics. We can see.
Because you can switch off, there's a box that you can actually tick to switch off the tracking for any spiders or bots or whatever in analytics. Right. And then you can actually compare. You can compare stats then.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, but that it may work for registered bots as opposed to people who are trying to behave. But yes, that's the kind of thing that we should definitely be looking at.
So,
Michael.
When you're saying log in, you're saying unique and repeat it.
Okay, so this one
you're talking about page views. You're not talking about logins.
Yeah, and so they originally set this up. You don't need to log in to see the site. So I think they don't actually care about people logging in. They care about people viewing the site, and they care about people making changes to the site. The fact that someone's logged in or not is kind of irrelevant, it seems to me. So I've stated that logins are not required to view the site, and the site traffic from Google Analytics, which do I have that? I can actually bring. So I basically we've got the standard Google Analytics view, which have I now just shut down?
So that provides unique and repeated, right?
It does, yeah. And so I've taken the data from the Google Analytics thing in there.
So I guess my question is, what particular line in the report can you not answer? With
There isn't. There isn't. It's more about making the line in the report here accurate. So like they're interested in the number of people viewing the site. So from a purely like what's the word? I don't know, like contract lawyer, this is absolutely sufficient. And unless I draw people's attention to, like, so there was we've got 293 visitors to the site corresponding with 134 unique users, and I think I've got that. Okay, so this is the last month of the wiki, and we can see, there we go. So 290 sessions, 134 users. So some of this will be, in my opinion, bot traffic. That's an interesting question there. If I can quickly filter that, as Lara was saying, for bots. Is there filtering for that in here, Lara? Do I have to go into admin?
I'm not sure that there's filtering, but you can switch it off if you go to admin. And you go to the last view, where it says all. You go to view settings. Sorry. Scroll down. Just scroll down that page. Scroll down.
Exclude all hits from known bots and spiders.
Yeah.
Great. And I guess that might be going forward rather than applied retrospectively.
No, I'm not sure. We'll have to check.
I'm clicking save. I guess it is. Is it then saved? Let's hope it is.
So I guess my question is, what's the additional level of value that you're trying to deliver beyond this?
Well, it's about accuracy of the report. So the additional level to the value, is to say, excluding, for example, bots, and then excluding admin traffic. This is the actual level of activity of the stuff.
Okay.
So it's certainly
Excluding admins is kind of the main thing.
Yeah, it's excluding admins. Yeah, I mean this is then a separate side issue there. Again, it's kind of, in some ways, I don't know. Is there a fascination with figures? I mean, does it help the people to know that there was 293 versus there being 393 or 193 visits to the site? I mean, in some ways, I think some of these things are just put in because that's data we can get, but is it actionable data, right? If it just these sorts of things, like knowing who are the most active users, is far more actionable.
So they didn't request that you filter out the admins?
No, but
it's kind of something that you're looking to do.
It's the kind of thing that one sensibly does.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's certainly not a high priority, and almost the amount of time that we're spending discussing it now, it certainly doesn't deserve that. It's kind of like a thing that if Blandine's interested in, then she's certainly welcome to look into doing it, but it doesn't deserve, it's not a high priority. But in some ways, that's what makes it good for an intern to look at, because, we don't want too much pressure on.
I mean, not to demean the great work she's doing, but.
Yeah, no, it's I think it will be, but so in some ways, just even comparing the PWiki or PWIC thing with Google, with analytics, I was sort of initially reacting to thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to have to stick a new analytics thing in Agile Ventures. But actually, with MediaWiki, it's probably just it's such a simple installation process that it might be fun to do.
So, can I suggest that we move on if nobody has anything else to say?
Well, what we're doing is we're now moving through the report, which is now my item, and what I'm trying to get back to is this the site. So I find this difficult to navigate here. So having gone into the admin, how do I get back to my view? I guess it's audience, clicking overview. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's all these side things that are minimizing. So yeah, so I guess that may change things going forward. Okay, so
It
going.
doesn't look like it changed right now, but maybe.
No. So I imagine what it will do is, filter them going forward. I mean, it's okay. So going on. So that's that there. So I've got for them. I mean, I'd love to be able to generate the report automatically, but there are special pages within the wiki that allow you to see who are the most active users, which pages have been, most actively revised. We've also got a breakdown of the standard things that you get from analytics about where the things came from. We get interesting things like showing the cities in the UK. I've done they're going to start promoting the wiki on the main site at Healthy London Partnership. There doesn't seem to be very detailed uptime statistics from Azure. They guarantee a 99% uptime. So anyway, so that's sort of, I'm going to go meet them tomorrow morning and show them that report and see if that's to their satisfaction and whether they want other information. But we've got this other particularly relevant to us is that we're supposed to be giving them monthly information about things that we do to help promote and market the resource. And that's one of the responsibilities that we have, is to try and get it out there. And so, as I was saying, one of the things we might do is allocate some of our Google AdWords budgets towards promoting their thing as a sort of a show of, yes, look, we're helping you. Give us more contracts. But let's see. So, going back to there. So yeah, I'll be very happy to help you, Brandon, if you want to try and get Piwik set up in the thing there. I guess I'd be interested to know how that works. But anyway, okay. So moving on. Oh well, Hootsuite. Yes. So in the excitement of being approved for a discount, I neglected to check how much the discount is. I guess we might as well, having done this first month, use Hootsuite Teams for the first month at least. Lara, were there particular things that the team plan gives us that you're excited about?
Yeah, I think the stats will be quite strong for us, and just the ease of use. Maybe I need to set up a session with Benedine and Marufa just to take them through it if they want to learn how to do postings. It's quite easy. Yeah. I think it's just about the ease of use of it.
Okay.
It's about just scheduling everything and then it just goes out. You don't have to worry about it.
Great. But is that specifically the team plan, or it's Hootsuite in general?
It's Hootsuite in general.
And
the team plan, I'm not sure. I used to be on the professional plan, which was more because I got the stats from it. But I think on the team plan, you also get, I think you get everything that you get on the professional. Right,
and then also like multiple users and maybe other things.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something over the, I guess it's the first time for you seeing the team plan. Maybe this time next month.
Look.
Yeah, you can tell us whether you think the team plan is worth whatever bells and whistles we get associated with it.
Yeah, I will definitely have a look.
Great. Okay. So Matt wanted to go through that's my items. Matt wanted to go through the newsletter assignments. I guess, Matt, you just wanted to check who was writing on what topic.
You muted, Matt.
I think we had maybe in the last week's agenda, there's some topics.
Indeed, and you just wanted to
go over those again real quick, maybe.
Yeah, we had them. So I mean, I've got the RSpec Mob, Design Sprint, Met Plus, Year of Blogging Daily, internships, profiles of individual members, profiles of other projects, Agile summary, and so on. So we've got.
Is anybody working on any?
So we've got Lara's going to do Met Plus this weekend. I'm going to do a year of some of the review of Blogging Daily. I don't know about anything else.
I can do something.
Yeah, what's happening with the RSpec Mob is we've already covered that, and then you're thinking about starting that the week after next. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you could always.
I can always do a post on how that went.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we can get through Design Sprint. I mean, that's going to be one of us three.
Okay. So, that's good enough, I guess.
Yeah. What did anybody think of this? I had this idea that we might profile other projects, individual members. Do people like that, hate that, don't care?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Get more info.
I'd like a profile because selfishly, to get my name.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, and in fact, we should focus on premium members and profile them and say what great stuff they're doing, and hopefully they might give us quotes on how they're enjoying the premium experience. Cool. Okay. All right. So the thing that you might want to keep in the back of your mind, Matt, about if you're going to start the RSpec, oh god, it's not blog, it's a mob, on Monday week, is trying to get keep trailing it for people, put an event in the calendar, promote it there, and to make sure that you have the numbers to actually be a mob rather than just a pairing session. Okay.
I know what we do, so I'll put some posts.
Yeah.
Just get RSpec set up and everything. Okay. Cool.
So moving on to Michael, then you were asking how much support will the design sprint get from marketing? I guess the funny thing about that is it sounds like we're in a company and there's a marketing team and they're all fully paid and what have you. But do you want to talk on this point, Michael?
Yeah, I just wanted to know. I guess what is Blanding's status for the design sprint?
Right.
I guess Marufa is working, right? And then obviously Lara is working.
Yes.
So
yes.
They're not at all going to be able to attend during that time.
Well, and so let me, in case it's unclear, Blandine and possibly, I think Lara, you understand. The idea is we're going to do this design sprint next week for 5 days straight, which would mean that myself and Matt and Michael will not be available for marketing meetings per se. So it's a sort of a big time commitment. We certainly don't expect people to come and do the design sprint. There is room for people to kind of come in and do expert interviews. Actually, Lara, if you were free on Monday for 20 minutes, we have these expert interview slots.
Yeah, I read about that in the sprint book. Yeah.
Right. And there's also there's testing stuff on the Friday. Although I think in some ways we kind of need people who don't know anything at all about Agile Ventures to be the testers, is the idea. But Blandine, are you following what we mean by the design sprint? Does that
Yes.
Yeah. And so you understand what Matt and Michael and I are going to do next week for the design sprint?
No.
Well, let me just give you a very quick outline. Is that what we're going to do on Monday is we're going to be defining our big problems and mapping how AV stakeholders interact to solve them, kind of thing. And then, I don't remember this off the top of my head. So on Tuesday, we will end up looking at other companies' solutions and this also includes sort of interviews. Once we've done this, that's where the expert interviews come in. This is Tuesday's looking at other companies' solutions, and then starting to do this is sketching and brainstorming of new ideas and approaches. And then on the Wednesday, what we'll be doing is there's a sort of a voting process. It's storyboarding, but turning the ideas into more concrete solutions, and then a voting process to select the best idea, or two. And then on the Thursday is all about prototyping. So it's very quickly build a pretend solution.
Okay.
So we use something like Keynote or InVision or something to build something that looks like a professional website, but is just to check, this new idea that we have that we hope might solve one of our big problems. And then on Friday, we have a series of user testing. So user testing with 5 people who don't know Agile Ventures very well. And hopefully from our target, from target market. And the idea is that we try and get them to experience our solution and get direct feedback from them about how that solution made them feel, what their concerns were, if they liked it. And the idea of the whole design sprint is to try and go very quickly from, working out what are the key problems that we need to solve to testing without too much work, a solution, and see if it does or does not solve our problem in the way that we might hope.
Okay.
What time does this start? What time are you starting this?
It's going to start at noon UTC on Monday, and there's the Design Sprint channel, which you're all most welcome to join, where we are trying to coordinate. And Matt has very kindly created this scheduling document here, where we've got the time set up in a number of different time zones, and we're starting to schedule the expert interviews in the what would be my Monday afternoon, but of course different for different people.
Cool. And is it just you and Matt in it?
It's myself and Matt and Michael are the people who have committed so far, but there's room for, if other people were, the thing with the design sprint is it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be face to face for a start, so we're breaking part of the design sprint rule already. I mean, it's an experiment.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I did one with the NHS, and I ended up having a lot more interviews. I couldn't get the buy-in and commitment to do the full week from the entire team, and I kind of had to make, I'm looking forward to, I should be doing a private one in 3 weeks where I've got full commitment from people to be there for the whole thing. But the idea is that people are there for the whole week, and they, it's time box. It's only supposed to be like sort of 6 hours each day with proper breaks, and the idea is that while you're kind of in the zone, that you've switched off your mobile, that you're kind of really focused on doing the design sprint to make it as efficient as possible. So they say, like, if you need to use your phone, go out of the room, or, in our case, we drop out of the Hangout or what have you, with the idea that we can build up this intense shared understanding of the problem and thus come up with a really successful usability experiment that will get us the answers that we need.
Yeah, sure. You can put me in for 3:30 there.
Oh, okay. Great.
I'll put it in my diary, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, and we will record the whole of it, and I guess I'm just, unlike some of the other Agile stuff, I don't know that it makes so much sense to have people kind of dropping in and out, of the Hangout here and there through the week, and us sort of explaining what we were working on. It's kind of, for people who are going to be in it, they need to be. The whole idea of the expert interviews here is, in this first chunk here, the people who are in the design sprint will be kind of coming up with a whole concept, and then, to try and avoid us being completely stuck in groupthink, we'll be presenting that to each person and getting their feedback, and they can tell us, no, that makes no sense.
Then what happens after that? Sorry, I'm only in the book, I'm only hitting Tuesday now. So let's say on Friday you do the user testing on your prototype. What happens if people come back? They'll come back with feedback. Then what happens after that? Well,
Potentially the feedback might be, we love it. In which case it's like, okay, right, well, let's rebuild it. Or it might come back, we hate it, it's absolutely awful. In which case, don't really build that. And then potentially you can redo the thing, like you can do a smaller design sprint that just restarts for these like three days.
Great.
The key idea being that what you've done is, rather than spending 2 months building a complete solution that then you put out there and you don't get the feedback, it's about trying to get the feedback within the space of a week rather than within the space of X many months that it takes to develop and deploy a complete solution.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. So Blandine, if you're free next week, you would be welcome to join the full design sprint and take part in the full design sprint if you wanted. But if
Yeah.
you don't, that's okay too. Are you? Does the design sprint make sense? Do you have any questions about the design sprint?
No, I have no question. But I'm very interested to participate.
Oh, really? Great. Yeah. Would you be about now? Are you in UTC +2 maybe?
Yes.
Right.
Same time as me.
Yeah. So maybe we can add a column there for UTC +2. But so would you be available for these full times for the course of the week? Do you think? Let me, if I just do this is plus time 1,0,0. There we go. So this is in your time zone. So I think we would actually, yeah. Usually it's only I think on Monday and Friday that it goes on until this time. We should be finishing earlier on these 3 days. It would be like, so this is like a break in there. Okay. But yeah, would you be available from this time to this time each
Yes.
Monday to Friday next week? Yeah.
Yes.
It would be great to have you involved. Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right, there we go. And so but there are other people. I think Federico had talked as if he might be involved, but I know he's also doing like some really intense courses at his university, so he hasn't committed to anything yet. Okay. So we were on Michael's question of how much support we'll get from the design group for marketing. Michael, question answered?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, all right. Fantastic. And I think that, well, that's our meeting then. I think we're done. Yeah, there we are. Any other crucial business that we need to address before we break up?
No, from my side. I'm looking forward to this design sprint. I actually want to run a design sprint here at 28 East for my team and the website. So
yeah, I'm also pitching our sponsor, our corporate sponsor, that we run a sprint with them. Go on.
Okay, cool. If you want people for the user testing on Friday, I mean, I can always ask the developers here because they are your target market. I mean, the guys who are coding and would be part of Agile Ventures. So they don't know Agile Ventures. So maybe it would be a good starting point as experience.
That's an interesting. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll talk to you more about that on Monday. Hopefully what we'll have done on Monday is kind of generated, as we say, like these different personas. Like I think there are different sorts of people for whom Agile Ventures, there's the person who's the really experienced coder versus the person who's sort of just started versus the person who's, all the different levels. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Great. Well, that's our marketing meeting there. Just press that button over there. Ooh. Right, my stomach is saying lunchtime. I will see some of you later on in other scrums and things. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you.
Great, thanks. Ciao.
Bye for now.
All right, bye.
Bye.